My first guest, a beautiful and talented young actress whose films include Clueless, Girl Interrupted, and 8 Mile. She also provides the voice of Luann on King of the Hill. The show kicks off its 9th season this Sunday on Fox. Please welcome the always delightful Brittany Murphy. You look right now. Let me see. Now you're brunette. You were blonde last time.
I was.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Well, no, that's very pretty. I like that.
Thank you.
I like the brunette. I'm not a blonde guy.
God knows how to pick colors.
Yeah, it's good.
If you can't change your surroundings, I've always said change your hair color. Right. It just.
Now, what is your natural hair color?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? There's a joke there. I'm not even going to go there. But I want to ask you. Now, why the change? What brought this on? Is it just?
It was for a film role, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was for a role, and then I decided to keep it.
Okay.
It was a keeper. I feel more like myself.
Yeah. Now, do you get good reaction? Like, do men notice you more or less different? Anything different?
I have absolutely no idea.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah, I've been working a lot, so I don't really... Okay. I've always been a really tough gauge of men hitting on me. I only notice when a woman hits on me, not a man. My whole life it's been that way.
Really?
Very oblivious. I'm getting wiser as I get older.
Like, what does a man have? I've got to go, yo!
They have to literally be so obvious. Or
really?
Else it completely, yeah.
And do a lot of women hit on you? Is that fairly common?
Well, when I was younger, I felt like it was more women than men, but I think it was just because I noticed it more, that it was coming from, I don't know. Nobody hits on me. Nobody, not yet. No, it's not something that happens much anymore.
Really? I mean, now that you're an old hag, nobody hits on you anymore. I can understand. Now, how is the new house? You have a new house?
We have a new home, and the last time that you had me on the show...
Right, we talked about this.
We were talking about the down, specifically. I'm allergic to down, and my mom is in there, so we lived together, and there was a lot of down furniture.
So you bought this house
beds,
furnished?
Completely and thoroughly furnished.
Now, why would you do that?
Because we didn't have enough furniture to fit in this large house.
Oh, so the house came all furnished?
It's a rich people's house. It's a large, beautiful house.
Okay,
and
so you bought...
We had a little bungalow that was beautiful on Beechwood Canyon, so we had moved out of the...
So you told the realtor, we're looking for a rich people house.
Well, it just sort of happened.
Now, somebody famous used to live in this house.
Be that way. That's correct.
That's right.
A very famous pop star, and it was decorated stunningly, but it hasn't had our own mark until recently. We changed the down out for foam, which is thrilling.
So you dumped out the down and put foam in, much classier.
Foam in, much classier, with a capital K.
Much classier. Pleather is nice, too.
Pleather, yes, so I've heard.
Yeah, so you put nice foam, boing, boing things in there. All right. What else have you done to white trash the house? No, it's not. It's great. I never heard of that. People get rid of down. And did you cut the foam to fit the pillow yourself?
It's very well, practically. We have to have it redone. But we're just thrilled to have the down out because now we could sit in the living room and not be allergic. But.
And what else did you do?
Well, I went to an art gallery auction. It was very exciting. The first auction that I'd ever been to, an art auction.
Did you have a little paddle?
I grew up garage sailing, and my mom is the best barter in the world, so I grew up around that. And I had my little paddle, which you raise, which I raised quite a bit. And my mom's sitting next to me. It was for Gallery Michael in Beverly Hills, and it was
Beverly Hills Gallery.
Yes.
Your first time.
My first time.
They must have loved you when you walked in.
It was benefiting the Buckley School for Kids.
Oh, okay.
Berkeley School for Kids. But it was very Berkeley. No kidding. But it was a great event, and I literally did not. But my mom laid across my body and started tearing up. First it was a swell, and I'm like, Mama, everyone's looking at us. Then it became full tears, and her eyes just went boom, boom, and
now, were you caught up in the auction, or was it the art that loved you, or you just get so excited?
It was the art. We bought the most beautiful Chagall, Matisse, Picasso's, all museum pieces. They're gorgeous, gorgeous museum pieces.
You put that next to the foam things you made?
I have to have you over for dinner.
That sounds very good. Yeah,
I would love that very much. If you and your wife would come over so you can see that the house actually is very beautiful.
So you bought Picasso's?
Yeah, and
Really?
and you
were bidding on them. Did you see the people you were bidding against?
I did. I cleared 2 rows immediately with 1 piece, and no one there actually knew that I knew what I was doing, and it was very exciting.
Did you know what you were doing?
I actually did,
Yeah,
yes, which I'm good at making people believe that I don't know what I'm doing when I generally
Oh, you're
do.
real good, yeah.
Thank
You are excellent.
You have that talent as well, Jay.
No, you're excellent. So you knew. But how do you know they didn't like work for the art gallery going, yeah.
No, we had a really dear friend that
Yeah.
was helping us and knew a lot about art. Her name's Lynn, and
Oh,
basically,
Lynn, sure.
You know Lynn. You all know Lynn. So my paddle kept on going up. My mother laid across me, like I said,
Right, okay.
completely laid down. We grew up working very hard,
Yeah.
and we didn't grow up with monetary. They would, you know,
So now you have
monetarily. So
okay.
financially, that this isn't something that is normal to us in the world that we come from. So it was very exhilarating and very frightening. And my mom became frightened, and then she became happy and excited.
Now, when you get these Picassos and Chagall's, do you put the plastic slip covers over them so they don't, so they're the clear plastic? So
They're
they don't...
now hung. The Gallery Michael was kind enough
Gallery
to...
Michael.
Gallery Michael was kind enough to actually hang all of the art for us beautifully.
They give you the hook and the nail?
And
Wow.
can you believe that?
Wow.
And there's these great guys, Pablo and Ernesto, that helped design
Pablo
it.
and Ernesto
Yes.
are the 2 guys?
And Ernesto has actually been doing
What
it for...
part of the valley are Pablo and Ernesto from?
I don't think they're from the valley, but they've been doing it for 25 years. I mean, this man Ernesto can
hang anything.
He can teach a class on art.
Now what...
Okay, this is a no-win for me.
No, I just like all these people. Look, we'll take a break. More with Brittany right after this. Welcome back. Flying with the art connoisseur Brittany Murphy. Now you have a birthday coming up next week, right?
That's true, November 10th.
How old are you going to be? Can I ask you that?
Yes, I'm going to be 27.
27.
Yes.
Okay, all grown up now. That's
Oh,
pretty cool.
yes.
Did you get your driver's license yet? I always talk about
Oh,
it.
dear. Okay, these are the times
What
when
are
I
you
wish
so
that I was a
afraid
good
of?
liar. I'm a terrible liar. My mama always said, never lie, then you never have to remember anything you ever said. And I'm the worst liar ever, so.
Well, how do you get around? You wait for the bus with your Chagall standing there coming down the bus? I mean, how do you get around?
Art for sale. No, we'll work for ride. I have very good friends around me that always end up taking me around. I've recently learned that there's kind of an eclectic underground LA community of people that don't drive.
Yeah.
I need to get my license, though.
What is the problem? Are you afraid of driving?
I'm embarrassed.
Well, how do you get like a nightclub or something? How do you get
I don't go
home?
to nightclubs.
You don't go out?
I'm a homebody. If I do, I go out with I don't go out alone very much,
Okay.
and I'll go out with a loved one, and
With a
it'll be a
loved one.
movie or something like that. And
I'm going out
or
with a loved
friend.
one. Who
I'm
says
going-
that? Who goes out with? I'm going to the store with a loved one. I've never even heard that before. I'm going out with a loved
I'm
one.
going out with a loved one now, or a dear
Well, how's your love
friend.
life? Anything new?
Wonderful.
I gave you some advice a while back. Did you follow it?
You'll be happy to know that, well, I've learned through talking too much and having an unedited mouth in the past to keep my private life private.
Right,
But
okay.
I will tell you that I'm really thrilled to be in an incredible relationship.
You have an incredible relationship?
With an Italian.
I told you you get an Italian guy, didn't I?
Yes, and that's exactly what you told
Did
me.
you get a regular Italian guy or one of these Hollywood Italian guys?
A regular Italian
Excellent.
guy. And he has a regular job.
That's
and he's
excellent.
working
Very
there.
good.
Thank you. And on top of that, honey, that's for you, that applause. And on top of that, he makes great sauce.
Great sauce.
Yes.
Huh? Well, that's really
Marinara.
Now, how about have you been in the tabloids lately? What's your latest? Anything new?
I don't have anything recent that's
Well,
been knock wood
what'd you
too.
say?
I did. My voice just cracked. I don't have anything recent that's
Well,
been
you're almost
too
27. You're starting to grow up.
tawdry. Me and Peter Brady.
Do you read the ones about yourself? Or you do just like
I
you like?
read everything.
Really?
I generally read. I read all of it just
Yeah.
to see who could have overheard what, where, and I want to know the names of the people.
Do you have a favorite
I'm
tabloid
curious
star?
to know. Of course, but
Yeah. Well, tell me what's your favorite one that happened to you?
Okay, the most absurd tabloid story. There's been some huge clunkers of absurdities, but one of my favorites was that in London I sat. Well, most recently it was. Well, no, I won't go there to perpetuate rumors. But there was a story that I had sat on a reporter's hands so that I told her that she had looked cold. Now, all this allegedly happened. None of it happened. And I put a napkin over my head, laid down on the floor, and said I was tired of people looking at me, darling. It was hysterical. And they ran it all next to a picture. And I wouldn't give the woman back her hands. That was the whole key to the story. And they ran it next to a picture of me from a USO tour with a helmet on my head. So, and they cropped my mom and Wayne Newton out of the photo. So literally, it's me going like this on a fighter jet in Kuwait and Iraq and in an undisclosed location on a USO tour. So basically, and they said, no, we don't know why Brittany's dressed like this either. As I'm wearing this fighter helmet that was just absurd looking.
I just like your mom with Wayne Newton. That sounds fascinating.
The Newtons are great.
And what did you
people.
have? You said you were giggling. You had something for me backstage. What was it?
I recently heard a little birdie, Mike, told me about a great tabloid story that has just been...
Is the tabloid story about me?
Written about, well, not exactly you per se, but maybe a facial feature that's so fabulous.
I know this stupid story. This wasn't the tabloid.
This is the most ridiculous, preposterous story. May I preface this by saying, by the very serious, the World Weekly, the Weekly World News. Okay.
It's a good thing you don't drive.
Wait till you get a load of this one. I'll be a fabulous driver. That's why I'm waiting. I want to make sure I'm perfect.
You'll be good.
The Weekly World News has learned that Jay Leno's chin is fake. Last year, the Tonight Show host underwent chin reduction and wears a prosthetic, as you can really see, to keep the operation a secret until his hosting duties are up in 2009. The problem is the chin keeps falling off, and Leno, this is even worse, and Leno has fished it out of 4 urinals, two toilets, and 4 plates of spaghetti and many bowls of soup. It also has melted in a tanning bed, which, might I add, Jay is the kindest man in the world. Personally, he doesn't tan. Okay, it also melted in a tanning bed and fell off on the highway while he was riding his motorcycle.
You love that. You're having the time of your life. Now tell us about King of the Hill. You've been doing King of the Hill for 9 years?
We've actually been recording for 10 seasons, 10 years. And thanks for being a great sport about that.
And you're Luann, and
this man is so good.
Tell us about your character. Tell us about your character that you play on the show.
Okay, I hate compliments. He's just the most lovely man, and that's why when people write things about him, it has to be preposterous.
Tell us about Luann.
Luann, my character.
If you were in traffic, I'd be going, lady, lady, pick it up.
I will drive like a 98-year-old woman when I drive. So basically,
you will be a 98-year-old woman by the time you get there.
King of the Hill for those of you who don't know, is a really great family show. It's, I think, in my opinion, the best written show on television. Our premiere episode of this season comes out on November 7th, this November 7th, which is this Sunday on another network.
Fox.
It's on Fox. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I could say it. I'm trying to be PC here.
You can be fine. It's fine.
So on Fox, November 7th, this Sunday. Check it out. And I play Luann, who talks like this.
Okay.
And basically, she talks to her Uncle Hank. So she's a beautician, and she has a new boyfriend named, her old boyfriend, Buckley, grew up in the Megalomart explosion. And her new boyfriend, his name is Lucky, and he's played by Mr. Tom Petty.
Oh, Tom Petty.
Tom Petty is our new cast member.
Well, congratulations.
And we're thrilled.
And I'm very happy about you and your lucky new boyfriend who gets to drive you everywhere. That's very exciting. Well, Brittany, congratulations on everything. Be right back with the Wild Boys, Steve-O and Chris Pontius right after this.